Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Lilium 12-arm chandelier. This is going to be the 10-1706. There are also other Lilium fixtures, including a beautiful wall sconce. That's a 1700. Check that out, because I think that would go great with this. So the design of this is really beautiful. You have 12 of these hand-forged lily cups that are holding a tube of glass. The glass itself is really interesting because it's frosted on the bottom, slowly dissolves into being clear on the top. So the bottom of it's going to basically hide your socket and bulb, and then as you go up, the light is going to be just transformed as you go up on the top of this. Really, really pretty piece. Let's get into the size of the fixture itself. 31.4 inches tall. Diameter is coming in at 38.3. So overall height, this is going to ship with 3 feet of chain just to begin with. However, it's going to ship with 10 feet of wire, and your fixture itself is about 31.4. Your canopy up on the ceiling is coming in about 2 inches. So all in all, I could easily get you down probably about, let's say 11 feet easy, maybe 11 and a half feet with just additional chain. So if you need to come down longer than the 31.4 plus the 36 inches of chain, Hubbardton chain ships in 3-foot sections. Just email me and say what you're looking for, and we can quote you the extra chain. It's not a big deal. It happens all the time. If you need to come down much farther than 10 feet, we also do custom wire, so you can get 20, 30 feet of wire coming down from like a 3-story atrium if you need to do that as well. You would email us and say you're looking at the 10-1706. Tell me what you need. I'm going to send it through the customs department. It's going to come back with a quote. We do it every day. This is not that heavy. It's 28 pounds. It's just going to hang from your standard junction box, though 28 pounds is still a decent weight. So I would touch base with your installer and make sure that they're comfortable with the type of box that's there. You might want to check on that if you can. Canopy up in the ceiling that's all hanging from is 6.5 inches in diameter. That's going to cover a 4-inch junction box without any problem. And because this is chain hung, it's just naturally going to be slope ceiling adaptable already. Gravity is going to make it hang straight down. I want to show you a little bit more information about that, and how we're going to do it is we're going to look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list, which is going to be basically the glass, the chain, and the canopy. Those things, the glass is going to be all packed up on its own. The chain and the canopy are generally wrapped together. The chain's kind of hiding inside the canopy, wrapped in plastic. That's going to be in a plastic sleeve stapled to the inside of your box. So keep an eye out for that when you're opening things. Why don't we talk about lamping on this? I think it's going to be important. Don't forget, you have 12 of these, so you don't have to go too crazy when you're talking about how much light you can get out of this, because you can get a ton of light out of this if you wanted to. It's good using a G9 socket. That's a standard socket. We've been around for a long time. Just has little prongs on the bottom of the bulbs. If you want to, you can go up to 40 watts in each of these 12 sockets, but I don't think you necessarily have to do that. And that's going to be a halogen bulb, just so you know, like our little friend here. There's different bulbs you can use. You can do the halogens, you can do LEDs. A lot of you are going to want to do LEDs, but we should really touch base on that, because I think because of the glass being very thin as far as the thickness of the tube going, we should always talk about what you can kind of see as far as pattern coming out of that with LEDs, because some of those LEDs are going to be this kind of checkerboard pattern, which is called a cob LED. And sometimes you can see that checkerboard pattern, those little box patterns inside the glass, basically through the glass, if this is touching the glass or really close to it. All that said, I have kind of a hierarchy of the bulbs that I think would be great in this. And believe it or not, I think halogens would be a really great place to start off with, because halogens throw the most beautiful light. They dim great. The light is crisp. As you dim it, it gets warmer. It throws out a lower Kelvin. So Kelvin temperature anyway. So I would probably look at 20-watt halogens to begin with on this, and you could pick those up at your local hardware store, Ace Hardware. Doesn't matter if they're clear bulbs or frosted, like our little guy here. And I would probably start out with 20 watts if I was going to do that. And I would probably pick them up on Amazon, quite honestly, because they're really cheap and they sell them in multi-packs. So I would start there. G9, 20-watt. Not LED, but halogen bulb, and then check that out. But if you really want to go with LEDs, I think the next one in the line is going to be a phosphorus LED. Phosphorus ones are going to give you a full pattern and uniform of light coming out instead of little pads like our guys here, okay? So just remember that. This is called a phosphorus. I don't know if they actually even mention that in descriptions when you do searches, but when you look for LEDs, G9 LEDs, you're going to see some of these popping up. So that would be my next one in line. And then after that, as far as LEDs go, this is like a 60 watt equivalent LED. Do you need to do that for 12 of these? Probably not, but you could without a problem. There's no limit when you get into LEDs other than can they fit in the glass. All of these are small enough to do that. This is a 40 watt equivalent, so maybe a 40 watt equivalent LED would be the way to go, because again, you've got 12. And if you really want to go to town, you could do the 60 watt. I even have these in 100 watts I picked up on Amazon. 100 watt equivalent though. So that would be incredibly bright. 1200 watt equivalent, that would be incredible. Okay, so they also talk about the color of the light coming out of these things, and halogens we know are going to be about 2700 Kelvin. LEDs are offered in 2700 Kelvin, that's that super yellow light. But they also offer these LEDs to you in daylight, so you have to be super careful about that. That's going to be the blue-white light you see on an overcast day, or like a hospital waiting room, and that's 4000, 5000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white, soft white when we buy our LEDs. That's going to be 3000 Kelvin. I talk about it in every video. And that's the light coming down on this table right here from these 3000 Kelvin LEDs above us. So that's what we like to use. In any event, I would probably play around a little bit if I could with the kind of bulbs. So my first pick is going to be, like I said, a 20 watt halogen. Doesn't matter if it's clear or frosted. Second pick is going to be the phosphorus ones that have either a bunch of little lines going through them of phosphorus or a big pad like that. And then my third pick is going to be one of these guys, which is a 40 watt equivalent LED in 3000 Kelvin. Possibly 2700 Kelvin too, because that could be very pretty. But on top of all that, we know the halogens are dimmable without doing anything. When you're buying LEDs, you have to make sure that it says dimmable on that box. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below. So scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart. So you can click on dark smoke. You can click on soft gold. Doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. In those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.